This year is shaping up to be a really great year for Spider-Man. And considering the three major Spider-Man projects we're getting this year, I just wanted to talk about one I've been really excited for, and that's Spider-Noir. Now, I wanted to make a video on this because I think I have some pretty decent things to say. So I'm going to start off by saying that the CGI does look pretty good. I think a lot of the scenes can look a little bit weird, but for the most part, I think that they did a really good job, especially with the medium that they're locked to. So I just wanted to really just talk about how much the CGI really just gets to me a lot of the time because I think there's some scenes which just look absolutely beautiful, especially the web swinging scenes, and that's kind of like the main contender for CGI in any kind of Spider-Man project. So like, yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for CGI. Now I'm going to talk about the trailer, and I did notice that some scenes seem to go in a kind of body horror direction. I did notice a couple of scenes where apparently Ben had spiders coming out of him, which I honestly think is a really interesting way to go about it because we don't really get much, we don't really get that many demonstrations of like Spider-Man's powers in this kind of fashion where it's like really body horror. I mean, they were gonna go with this in the Sam Raimi movies, but they didn't because that movie was PG-13. But I'm pretty sure this is rated R, so I don't really think they're locked to that same restrictions. I mean, some scenes in Spider-Man Brand New Day seem to apply that, but I mean, I'm not talking about Brand New Day, now am I? Now, we're gonna talk about the cast, and the casting seems to be pretty good. Nicolas Cage as Spider-Noir already makes the casting seem like a 10 out of 10. And having Lee Jun Lee as Felicia Hardy is a pretty interesting casting choice. I do think it's pretty good overall, but I do think that Joe Massengill is a bit weird for Electro, with how Electro Noir looks like in the comics. But it's not really too bad for me because they can still make this version of Electro work. So, it's not horrible. And either way, I'm not really one to judge an adaptation based off of how accurate it is to the source material. Really, just how well it decides to adapt the source material in terms of keeping that same spirit and the spirit alive with why people even liked it. Now, one part I'm really excited to talk about is the character designs. And starting off with Spider-Noir himself, he looks pretty good, and I love the material that they used for the mask. It really sells the cheap and old-timey Spider-Man. And I do think that them going for a more comic-accurate approach gives it extra points because the base Spider-Noir design is already kind of perfect, so it gets a 10 out of 10. Next up is Sandman, and I don't really like it because it's literally just a dude in a trench coat. And also an old-timey hat. Wait a minute, I just realized all the villains look like this. So, am I really just gonna talk about a bunch of dudes who wear trench coats and hats? You know what, I'm just gonna cut this section short. Well, now I guess I can talk about the trailer and stuff like that. Well, I think that it looks generally pretty great. I love the uses of the action sequences. I think the action sequences look so unbelievably interesting, and I think the acting itself also just looks so cool. I mean, we haven't seen much humorous parts from the trailers, but we have seen some, right? And I think the little bit that we've seen honestly makes it seem pretty funny. So I think they're gonna go with a kind of somewhat humorous approach in some scenes with the noir style that they're going with, which I personally don't have a problem with. So honestly, I think it just looks amazing, honestly, and I'm really excited for it. I'm definitely gonna watch it when it drops. Of course, this year has been looking really great for Spider-Man with Brand New Day, and of course, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, though I've never even watched the first season. So I'll definitely try and check out the first season before I make a video on Season 2. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it short now. This was a really good first video. I'm gonna see you all later. Goodbye.